Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we're going to talk about how to solve equations by GCF factoring. So let's talk about what GCF is. GCF stands for the greatest common factor, and that is going to be a monomial that divides evenly into each term. So also remember, since we're solving polynomial equations, we can use the zero product property to help us solve these. So we want to make sure each of these equations is equal to 0, and then we can factor using the GCF. So example number 1, we have 4x squared plus 12x equals 0. So it's equal to 0, so let's go ahead and factor out. So let's look at our terms here, 4x squared and 12x. So I know I could factor out a 4x. Okay, so I can factor out a 4 because 4 and 12 are common factors, and x is a common factor of x squared and x. Okay, so now we can ask ourselves, all right, what do we multiply 4x by to get 4x squared? Well, we multiply by x. And what do we multiply 4x by to get 12x? We multiply by 3. So now we have our polynomial equation in factored form, and now we can set each of these polynomials equal to 0. So we can say 4x is equal to 0, or x plus 3 is equal to 0. So for the first one, we can just divide by 4, and we get x equals 0. And the second one, we subtract 3 from both sides and we get x equals negative 3. Okay, so our two solutions are x equals 0 or x equals negative 3. For number 2, notice we have the two monomials equal to each other. So before we factor, let's get 8x and negative 10x on the same side. So I'm going to add 10x squared to both sides. So now I can have 0 equals 10x squared plus 8x, right? So now we have the polynomial equation or the polynomial expression equal to 0, and now we can use the zero product property as long as we can write this in factored form. So we're going to factor using the GCF because we have 10 and 8, those are even numbers, so we could factor out a 2, and we also have x squared and x, so we could factor out an x. So I'm going to say 0 equals 2x, and we're going to multiply 2x by 5x in order for us to get to 10x squared. And we're going to multiply 2x by 4 in order for us to get to 8x. So now we can say 2x equals 0, or 5x plus 4 equals 0. So 2x equals 0, we just divide by 2. So we get x equals 0, or, and down here we can subtract 4. So we get, we'll scroll down just a little bit, 5x equals negative 4, and now we can divide by 5. So we get x is equal to negative 4/5. And those are our two solutions, or our two roots. X is equal to 0, or x is equal to negative 4/5. And for number 3, 3x squared minus 9x equals 0. It's already equal to 0, so we can go ahead and factor out that GCF. So let's factor out a 3x. And we're going to multiply 3x by x in order to get 3x squared minus, and we're going to multiply 3x by 3 in order to get 9x. So now we take our 3x and set it equal to 0, and our x minus 3, and we set it equal to 0. For 3x equals 0, we just divide by 3, so we get x equals 0, or, and for the second one, we can add 3, so we get x equals 3. And those will be our two solutions for number 3. Okay, and that's how you use the greatest common factor to write a polynomial equation in factored form, so that you can use the zero product property to find the solutions.